What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another solo leveling Arise video. Alright guys, it's that time. That's right, tier list time, tier list update for hunters. I wanted to wait for GUNHEE and Hansime to drop at the same time. That way I didn't have to make two back-to-back tier lists. It just didn't make any sense to do that. So we have everybody here now in place and ready for action. Now, before I go any further, I just want to say this is a pre-recorded video. I'm out of town, so if you leave a comment or any type of suggestion or, any feedback or criticism about the video, I will not be able to answer you today. I'll be back the next day and probably talk to you then in the comment sections, of course. So please do leave your comments about the tier list. Now, this time around, I'm going to be a little bit more stringent. Things have changed quite a bit now with the guild boss added. Now we have a little bit more damage meters. We've had the ability to test units out a little more thoroughly. Plus, we've got new buffs and some SRs are now taking some limelight. So just let's talk a little bit about all that stuff. And now we're going to focus on making it a lot more, let's say, critical this time around about who sits where and why. All right, so let's start off at the niche section here. I'm going to do the usual. So we're going to throw in the niche units. And as always, it's going to be, where is he? Kim. There he is, our boy Kim and Song. Now, Kim of Song. So Kim is good for one thing and one thing only. And I'm loosely using good, and that is any SJW BOTs. If you need a heavy windbreaker support, he actually does offer you that now. And Song is only good strictly for clearing normal mobs because he has more damage on normal mobs. Very, very niche. Pretty much useless in this case for the most part. So those two are going to sit there. Next two are going to be Park. Where are you? Not the Park you're thinking of, but the guy Park. And then, of course, we're going to throw in one more unit in here. Joe. That's right. Joe and Park are probably going to can be useful a little bit. To be quite honest, he might actually be more useful here, and this guy might go down here now at this point, just because of that heavy break with wind. So we might put these two guys together. You know what? I might even do this. To be honest, let's change things up. Realistically, at the end of the day, these two can probably sit there. These two can probably sit in the bottom. So let's just do this way instead. We're gonna swap these out, just because these two now do kind of have a little bit more of a reason to be around. Especially now the BOT specifically runs on elements rather than using the same old pattern. So Song actually has a little more use against mobs before bosses pop up, and then of course, like we just mentioned, the heavy break. But these two guys here really have no point in the game at the current moment. Good. We're gonna put Song Yi, I think that's her name. And again, main thing for her is she's water element, but she also has rate recovery down, which is useful if you don't have Cha or Yusuyun. So that's going to be a little bit helpful there in order to stop some mobs from healing or some bosses from healing. Pretty straightforward stuff. She really doesn't bring anything much else to the table. Let's talk about the very good. So we'll go the usual, the breakers, right? We've got the very good breakers here. Let's put Jinho there. And then we're going to throw Kang in here again. Kang has got a little bit better now because of his new weapon, his SR weapon, which allows more damage on bleed units. But again, it's got to really hit a unit with bleed. And unlike SM Beck, who has the Curse of the Magic Beast, which also is a replacement for bleed on monsters who are immune to it, he doesn't currently have that, kind of limiting his usage in most of the content. Back then he was a lot better, but now that more bosses are coming out that are bleed immune, his viability is becoming less and less and less, right? I'm going to throw in Jo-hee in here as well too. She used to sit at least on the sea, but now with the new guild boss, she's actually pretty useful for keeping up the MP portion for your water team. So if you don't have a Meilin, for example, she's not a bad option to give you HP to keep Sa and Alicia alive, and also give them MP so they can continue nuking. So she's actually not overly bad anymore. So we're going to give her a little bit more love there. Ana Ruiz is going to move up to S. She was an A before, but now with the guild boss, again, shout out to Moose on this one. He figured this one out for that boss. I know there's been a lot of drama with this whole thing. Stupid drama. Anyways, it is what it is. So we're going to give her an S on this one. She has moved up one rank. I used to use her all the time as a breaker and poison and defense down for golem bosses back in the day. But Moose has found an incredible way to use her for the guild boss. So shout out to him for that one. So she's been very much a pivotal part of his teams and a lot of people's who are free to play teams now in terms of breaking. Now I'm also going to throw Nam in here as well. Here's the reason why. She's dropped a rank, and the reason why she's dropped a rank is a lot of the other units who she was a better breaker than, like for example regular Bank, she is now actually even keel with him. So if you have the better SSR versions for breakers, she's actually now equivalent. She used to be better. Now she's just equal parts all around. So she's still an incredible unit, but she's kind of lost her luster now a little bit because we're straying away from, I've noticed, from break bars. So think of the Scorpion, think of the guild boss that sells the yellow bars now, and we're focusing more on damage, debuffing, etc. So she doesn't bring that much outside of a freeze, but she is still one of the best breakers in the game, so we're going to put that on her. And then, of course, Park we're going to put over here as well, too. So again, I said I was going to be a little more strict about how I handle this. This is how these three are going to sit, and they'll probably stay in this little section for quite some time. Now, with that being said, we have a couple other units that are going to go here. Dung Poo! Yeah, Dung Poo will sit right here. He's not going any further. He is, unfortunately, the worst SSR right now in the game with everyone else being buffed. Definitely need some love, guys. Definitely need some love. Okay, so we're going to put him in there. Now, a couple other units that I think belong in this section. Again, I'm being a little bit more strict than usual. We're going to throw Lim in here as well, too. Lim is probably the best OP breaker on the list here. I'd probably even go like this, to be honest. Right there. So this is probably how I would set this up. Lim could technically go here. He could. But again, if we're being strict, realistically, he doesn't really have that much of a place anymore in this section. Now, with Beck's new buffs, he is still OP. I would probably put him first place here, but I don't think... He's a hard one, man, honestly. They gave him super armor now, so he's still just slow animations. I think that's his biggest problem. So I'm going to put him right there, and we're going to leave him there, okay? All right, now let's go up to the SS Broken section. So this is where people are going to start mattering a lot more. And now we're going to have to keep in mind that the new guild boss is out and they're going to make an impact on where people belong. So I'm going to try to incorporate all the content for every single thing that's out there. And we're going to see where people are going to sit going forward. So first off, let's put in Choi. Choi deserves to be up here for a couple of reasons. Number one, he still does a good defense break, still does decent damage. Not OP anymore, hasn't been OP for a very long time, but still serves his purposes on a fire team, especially with the guild boss now with his weapon. The fact that he can do more defense break makes it a little bit easier for everybody else. Who's one of the best breakers in the game now, so definitely deserves it. Is a pivotal part of the win team and plays a major role in all breaking content that is win related, and probably will play a future role in any Mythos or upcoming WOBL win related weakness elemental fights, right? So Wu's pretty damn big for that now. Let's go with somebody else here. This is gonna upset some folks, all right? So Yusayun, I would say probably a little bit less than Choi usefulness at the moment, only because of Choi's ability to do the defense down on guild bosses right now. That's the hot thing, right? But she probably neck and neck with him in terms of overall usability. Let's throw in, believe it or not, guys, this might piss off a few folks here. I'm gonna throw Cha in here. Yeah, I'm gonna put Cha in here. Yeah. I know a lot of people might be surprised by this, but the reason why is we started to notice with all the new content coming out and all the new bosses coming out, she's really fallen off, right? And people are calling for shadow nerfs. I don't think it's necessarily a shadow nerf. I think it's just a power creep. I mean, that's literally what happened was, and I think the next two units that should go on the Wu treatment block is going to have to be her again, because she's been updated. She's been upgraded almost every single update, and also Dung Poo. Dong Su needs mad love, bro. Like, that dude is out there. So I'm going to put her right there for now. She's going to be the top end SS Broken version, but she's no longer a godly unit. She's fallen off quite a bit now. With that goes SM Beck as well, who's actually now a better overall DPS than her from all my testing. I think a couple other people tested as well have realized that he is definitely out damaging her. She does bring a little bit more utility, of course, but if we're looking at pure DPS, that's where those are going to sit. Listen, I'm going to put Sa here now as well, too. Again, I'm going to be a little more strict here. Okay, we're going to go one level down here for these guys. And then we're also going to throw in one more unit in this little list of ours. And that is... Actually, we'll throw two more units in this list. That's going to be Libora, who's now becoming a pivotal part of pretty much any debuffing content, especially guild bosses and stuff. She'd probably be up here as one of the top units. She could technically fall in low-end SS Godly because of her weapon, but... I'm still not convinced. I mean, listen, she's so versatile, but I don't think she's up there with the likes of the other units right now that we're going to discuss. And then lastly, we're going to put in the old man. Yeah, the old man belongs here. He's definitely better than Sa overall because he does the same amount of damage, in my opinion. I mean, not in my opinion. I've done the testing. He does the same amount of damage when they're evened out. He just survives so much more. If he was HP based, this shit would be over, man. He'd be so much better than most other units. But because he's not, he's got limitations. He's a better breaker. I mean, he's a better breaker than most breakers. He's a way better damage dealer than most damage dealers, but he's the best. He's equivalent to the best damage dealing breaker, equivalent to the best breaker. So overall, and he doesn't die. really. He's just not there. Most breakers, it's hard to convince anybody that they're godly, unless they're out DPSing DPSs, right? So it's really tough to put him in that category. So I'm going to place him right there for now, and then we're going to keep them there. Now, the rest of the squad here is going to be the following: Emma, Min, right? Meilin, Hansi Mi, Alicia, and Mireille. Okay, this is the squad here. Now, if you notice the pattern here, the only one here who is not considered a support is Emma. Emma's just too damn OP for everything she does. I'm still convinced that she's still one of the best units in the game. These three, though, and I've been saying this from day one, that you can't skip supports. All right, supports are just too damn good in regards to where they belong. These three are, depending what team you use, are going to replace each other. On Guild Raid, all three of them are pretty much used. It's they maximize your DPS's output. You know what I mean? Like, they make them better. So it's almost hard to do any content without three of these based on our elemental advantages, right? So Hansimi's, I think, is going to start becoming even more pivotal with her A3 with the immortality. I'm already seeing it in guild runs where, you know, the Dragon Boss will kill everybody, but she pulls off her Divine Field, everybody survives, and we can go another 1 or 2 rages because of that. It's a huge, huge deal. The MP recovery, the HP recovery, all of that stuff is massive as well, too. Not to mention she boosts critical damage, wind damage, attack, etc. So she's pretty much, like I said, the Meilin, the Min, to the win team. So very, very important, of course. And then for a DPS perspective, Alicia's still queen. Mirei's, I've said this from the beginning, Mirei's a better DPS overall. Alicia just brings more utility, more range, and way more survivability than Meilin does. But with that being said, Meilin is easily the top DPS in the game. It's not even a competition anymore. If you look at the guild bosses, for example, especially when you put her on the right team, it's crazy how much damage she does. Just from the fact that Hansimi gives her MP, power gauge, attack, etc., and she just keeps feeding her ultimate nonstop and continues gaining MP and doesn't lose it. So that is pretty much your tier list, guys. Let me know what you guys think here. I know we've had quite a bit. You know what? I'm gonna go like this. Let's be real. It's gonna go like that. That's probably how it should look. Cha's still better than SM Beck in my opinion because of utility. He does more damage for sure. This is exactly the problem, right? I'd say it probably goes like this, maybe. Right there. Yeah, I think it goes like this. So either way, that's probably your setup there in my opinion. I've given my justification. Let me know in the comment sections. Remember, I'll be away, so I won't be able to comment on it right away, but I am curious to hear what you guys have to say about this. This is Payne. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.